Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Heather Ann and I share videos about the things that I do. Budgeting, crafting, mothering, homeschooling, just whatever happens to be on my mind at the moment. Lately I've been really into budgeting videos. We've been really focusing on our budget this year. And today I'm going to be sorting out and stuffing all the cash into my cash envelopes and just going over my planned budget for the next 2 weeks. It is payday Friday. It is evening. My kids are that away watching a movie. My husband is that away making us breakfast for dinner. You will most definitely hear noises in the background because that's just how we roll. But thank you for being here. If you haven't been here before, I hope you enjoy the video and welcome. And if you are back for more than the first time, if you are returning, just thank you for coming back. I'm always looking for feedback and help to improve in whatever I'm doing, so I would appreciate if you would leave me a comment. And if you like the video or are as curious to hear whatever random thoughts come out of my mouth as I am, please consider subscribing and sticking around. All right, so this week it looks like I have 2 tons of cash, which I kind of do, but we are actually tend to be more of a tighter budget type of family. It just so happened to work out that almost all of our bills came out of our budget last week. So this side of my budgeting sheet is basically all of our bills plus our income. And this side is more of our expenses and cash money, like our spending. And you can see I highlight the bills that I have to pay within each paycheck. I budget by paycheck. We get paid every other week. And you can see that almost all of them were highlighted last time. So we had literally like no money left over from saving for our last paycheck. So this week we only have 3 little bills coming out. So I did choose to take a lot of the cash out to set aside for bills for next time. So that's why it looks like I have so much this week, because I wanted to give us a little breathing room next paycheck rather than just, blow it all this paycheck. So that's where we're at. I do use these cash planning sheets that I found from Hey Budgets, which have been really helpful to me. I really like them for figuring out, like, first I'll kind of figure out what bills I have. I'll figure out our income and bills. I will then figure out our basic expenses, the things that I know we need every paycheck. And I try to keep them as tight as I can with a little wiggle room. So groceries, my gas and my husband's gas. I stay home, I homeschool our girls and drive them around to appointments and activities and such, do all our grocery shopping, everything that involves running a home, I do. But my husband works out of the house and he has a bit of a commute, so he gets a lot more gas money than I do because he uses it. We do leave a little area for room for fast food. There's one day of the week in particular that me and the girls are out of the house all day, and sometimes I manage to pack lunch in the morning, sometimes I don't, so we have a little wiggle room for us. And my husband, he works on the road, he's always in different places, so it's not always possible for him to pack a lunch, or he might pack a lunch and then leave it at the fridge at work, but never actually make it back to kind of home base all day. So sometimes he just has to eat out, so we budget for that. We have medical expenses that come out all the time. I set aside a homeschool budget for my girls, and right now my youngest is 2, my oldest is 6, so we're homeschooling first grade. And you can hear in the background, we are homeschooling for first grade, and I haven't really included much for our little one in the homeschool budget yet because she's only 2, but she is starting to do activities. We're doing a cute little mommy and me dance class, which I include all of their educational activities in our homeschool budget. So that's everything: curriculum, supplies and materials, field trips, and kids activities all comes out of that budget. So I aim for about $2,500 a year for my older daughter. And next year, my younger daughter is going to kind of start doing some preschool stuff. So I'm still figuring out how I'm going to make that budget work now that we have 2 kids. I'm going to obviously have to up the budget, but I'm not exactly sure how that's going to shake out. So anyway, right now I set aside $135 a paycheck and aim for about $2,500 for the year. Nessie is our dog. She is almost 14. She will be 14 tomorrow, actually. And she's getting older. She had a health scare back in January. She's mostly doing great now, but I kind of made me realize that, I hate to say it, but the end is probably near, and I should start saving up some cash so we don't have to worry financially about what to do when we get there. Anyway, and then I just keep a miscellaneous envelope with just some singles in it for sometimes the cash envelopes just get complicated and I just need to grab $1 from somewhere, and I don't want to make it hard on myself. So just miscellaneous for something I didn't plan, or if we need an extra $1 here or there. Yeah. And then I have my savings and sinking funds, and I let the savings games decide that. So those will be future videos, and those are the most fun to watch. Those are the most fun for me, and I'm so excited that I finally get to do some this paycheck, because I didn't get to last paycheck and I've been bored. Okay. So anyway, let's start out by stuffing some cash envelopes. So I don't typically keep an envelope for my mortgage, but since I decided to save up for it, since like I said, there weren't really many bills coming out of this paycheck, I wanted to make sure it was set aside, because next paycheck I'm expecting a lot to come out again. So I'm setting aside $1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that should be 1,000. So I'm just going to put that right in. I set aside for our utilities because they fluctuate every month, and we have one in particular that we pay quarterly. So I like to set a little aside for utilities anyway. So I'm just going to stick this in that envelope. Please stop. Please stop. Thank you. And 1, 2, 3 for utilities. So that's $1,300 for mortgage and utilities. That will hopefully not all get spent next paycheck. Hopefully our utilities will be a bit lower, but it's been an expensive winter for heat and whatnot. So, okay, those are in this pink binder. So this is my actual wallet, which I use. And then this pink binder is the one that I keep at home, because I obviously don't want to keep this much cash with me when I'm walking around. So, that would be a big problem. Then all the money would be gone forever. If you didn't hear my 6-year-old in the background, she says, what if you lose one, Mama? If I lose one, then all of the money would be gone forever, and that would be terrible. But it does definitely aid in me being more responsible with our money and making me think about every dollar that I physically have to hand over. It's really helped a lot to go cash for our budget. Okay, next up is groceries. Groceries gets $4.50. Now I put $200 in on the way home from the bank because I stopped and did some grocery shopping. So that means I'm going to do another $200, and I said 2 100s, which I already put the 2 100s in, so I need 3 50s and 5 20s. So 1, 2, 3 50s and 5 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just double check that. So I've already put 200 in, 250, 300, 350, 370, 390, 410, 430, 450. And that's what I'm supposed to have. So let's put that in the groceries. And I already, as I said before, already broke the big bills, but let's try to at least put them in order for now. Here's the biggest bill. There's the $100. I got out of the grocery store for under $100. I was really excited about that. To be fair, I was just picking up some like fresh produce and milk. Because there was just nothing fresh left in the house, and the rest were pretty well stocked on at the moment. So yeah, I was just kind of feeling pretty icky. I was like, oh, I haven't had anything fresh all day. Let's get some while it's out. Okay. Next is my gas. So I do cash for my gas. My husband still works off of his credit card, but I actually did fill his tank on the way home too. I took his car because I was blocked in. Not that you needed to know that, but it was weird for me. So I'm putting $70 into my gas, and I said a 50 and a 20. Let's go find another one of the 20s. So pro tip, do try to give yourself more smaller bills when you can, and things like gas and groceries where you tend to make like bigger purchases. It doesn't really matter as much, but yeah, in some of the other categories that are kind of more random, it becomes inconvenient to not have any small bills ever. So just throwing that out there. And I did have some leftover gas money from last time, and I tried to bulk it up because gas just went up a lot. So yeah, hopefully we don't break the bank, but so yeah, like typically I budget my husband only $80 per paycheck for gas, because that's 2 weeks, about 2 tanks for him. And this time I looked at the price, it jumped up to $3.50. So I mathed that out and I was figuring about, like it's $3.50 a gallon right now near us. It just jumped up like a lot. Like it's been under $3 recently. So I figured out, and I'm thinking maybe just a little under $60 per tank. And what if he needs more than 2 tanks? But I bumped it up to $120, and I'm like, I hope that will be enough. And I just kept mine the same because I knew I had some left over from last time, and I was kind of trying to build that up anyway. So we should be good for mine. All right, next up is homeschool budget, $135. Excuse me. All right, so I got 2 50s, a 20, a 10. I should probably just like spread all these out. 20, a 10, what else did I say? 2 50s, 120, 110, and 1.5. Okay. And that should be 120, 35. Yep. All right, now which one do I have this in? Do I have homeschool in here right now? I don't think I do. I think it's back here. And I think I put it, yep, right before co-op money. So all of our family in our co-op, all of our families, they all kind of chipped in for supplies, and then I'm trusted to do it all, and I put it in a cash envelope because that's how I do things. And I'm like always so weird about that. But anyway, so I'm like, that's not my money, but I put it in here because where else am I going to put it? Okay, next up is Nessie. She gets $100, and that's going to be 2 50s, and that should be my last 2 50s, and it is. Is Nessie puppy over here? Is she in the pink one? Sorry, I think that one's a little bit off camera over there. Nope, she's in the pink one. So let's see how much she has now. She did just get groomed in a new bag of dog food, so she should be sitting pretty, haha, no pun intended, for a little while, but yeah. So she is now up to 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 270, 275, 276, 277, 278. You know what? I meant to do all of my budgeting sheets while I fill these in, and I haven't done that so far. So I'll probably go back and do that off camera because it's not so fun to watch me write them down anyway. It's just fun to watch the money, right? All right, miscellaneous gets 20 singles. I'm just gonna flip this over. We'll count them out this way. 1, 2. Oh gosh, these are stuck together. Hold on. They're new ones. 3. Ooh, they're like brand new ones. 4. They're like, don't slide at all. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nope, see, they're still stuck. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so if I end up short later, I'm going to double check my miscellaneous because possibly more of those stuck together. And I already had some left over from last time too in my miscellaneous, so let's see what that is. So I'm putting 20 in, and there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 26. We are so ready for spring. Last weekend was so warm and sunny and beautiful, and then this week has just been so incredibly gray, and it's supposed to be getting beautiful and up to 70 again, and I can't wait. Just please give me some sunshine. I'm so over the dark gray. Sorry if this is more shadowy. I moved my spot on my table over, and I think the actual camera is like casting more of a shadow from the light. So yeah, but oh well, we'll survive. Okay, that was miscellaneous, and then I should have $403 for savings games, which I hope that maths out. No, I definitely mathed it out. I counted it like a million times, so let's double check. All right, so I should have 10 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's $200. Usually I don't put big bills for my savings games, but I'm going to show you something in a minute if you haven't noticed it already. Okay, next is 10 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's another 100. So we're at $300. Okay, that's making more sense. 10 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So that's $50 and then 53 ones. So 200, 300, 50, and then 53 should get us to 403. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Yay! The lady at the bank can count. Good job, lady. Good job, me too. Either we both can count or we both can't count. You never really know. I'm going to put this actually back in this big old envelope because I did make like a little envelope for savings, but I think there's just so much money here. I think it'll bust. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so that's exciting. So that is my cash stuffing for today. I have to go back. So these are the budget sheets that I use. And I put a line between paychecks, and that's where I just track where every single little dollar goes. The change I take out and I put it in an old wallet for savings schemes, and I've been saving some up, so I really need to start a new change savings scheme. But that's all of that stuff. That's all my cash stuff. There are 2 things I want to do in this video. So yeah, I literally just have a card for every single category, even the ones that aren't cash. So I have one to track like how much we're spending on my husband's gas too, so I can make sure I'm budgeting for that. Fast food is our biggest. Yeah. So I'm gonna go through it. So I'll put like a line, and you can see what I did for this one. I already started our grocery one. So I put $450. Usually I put $400 in groceries, but we're trying to get my husband to be better about like eating home food instead of going out for lunch as much as possible. So what I decided was it's a lot easier for him to make food at work sometimes. So I was like, why don't you just get the ingredients and keep them in the fridge at work, and then that way like you're picking them out on the way and you have what you want, and you don't have to like remember to make a sandwich in the morning because he leaves before the rest of us wake up. So that's a lot. He was like, oh yeah, that'd actually probably be a lot easier. So I'm just gonna give him $50, which actually let me remember to do that. Let me take that out of my grocery budget right now before I forget. That's why I wanted $50 bills instead of hundreds. Here we go. So this is gonna be for my hubby. We will set that aside, and hopefully he'll remember to bring me a receipt. But yeah, okay. Oh, here we go. I can put a sticky note on it. We'll go with an orange one. Groceries for lunch. $50. Please get receipts. Look at that sweet little note with my beautiful handwriting. I never got the pretty girl handwriting that everybody else got. Okay. All right, so that's that. Now, so like I said, I have a lot more 20s for my savings scheme than I normally keep because I just made these little prop coins. So I've been wanting some prop coins, but I haven't really seen any that I liked. But I thought these were super cute. So there's $25 worth of prop games, and they have all of the little like Disney animators styles of like little princesses. And I think a lot of them are like fan art. I did not make the art. I just found them and formatted them and put them on the coins. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of 25-cent pieces. There's 50-cent pieces. There's $1 pieces. And then I had like one spot left, and I was already at $20 even. And so I didn't want it to be like $21. So I just made one $5 piece to like mix it up for fun. But yeah, they're super cute. They are fruit printable. You can get them at my Ko-fi shop if you are in the need for prop coins. Because last time I did have some bigger bills, and I kind of realized like, oh, and usually I'll just like switch things out, but you can't always do that. And like I'll consolidate and like stuff. So I was like, you know what? I really want to have some prop coins. That way I can just put like a 20 into the folder and then use the coins to figure out which goes to which game. And I think it'll make it a lot more fun. So anyway, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones and they're super cute and they're free. So if you are interested, please give me a like and go check them out on my Ko-fi. I'll link it in the description to this video. And everything on there is free, so please help yourself. Okay. And that's that, and that's, but yeah, oh my gosh. So I was gonna tell you, I went into the bank and, like, you know, I've been cash budgeting for a little while now. My dog is barking at the door because she's a pain in the butt. Give me a sec. Okay, sorry about that. I snagged my calculator while I was up letting my dog out. Okay, so this is our month ahead savings. So I'm saving up for our emergency fund, which for us, I'm doing the Dave Ramsey Baby Steps. We're on step 3. And step 3 is to save up a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, in case you didn't know. We are debt free except for our mortgage. So step 1 is to save up $1,000 emergency fund. We already had that anyway. And then step 2 is to get debt free except for your mortgage. We achieved that back in January. Beginning of February, basically very recently we achieved that because we had paid a lot of it down already, and then we finished it off when we got our tax refund. We got a really nice tax refund this year, which helped a lot. And so we did that, and then we started pouring that into our any extra expense money we had into our emergency fund. So my goal is to save up 6 months because we are a single income family and my husband works a lot of overtime. And basically, if something went wrong, if he couldn't work, we'd be like totally screwed. So we need to have a bigger buffer. Sorry about my dog. I think she's going senile. You're not even barking at anything. You're just staring at me from the kitchen, nowhere near food bowls. Okay, so we were paying about $352 towards debt. So once we debt snowball paid that off, that left about $352 in our budget that we were used to spending anyway. So we decided to do that into our savings, and that worked out to $176 per paycheck, which was just enough for all of my, what I call my necessities. So that was my plan. So we started this with $176 per paycheck, and that worked out to $16 per envelope, and I have 11 envelopes. So you can see where I started paying them off, and then I did this first, and then our tax return came in, and that was the orange, and I ended up killing my orange marker by how much of the tax return that I put into this, as you can see. And I ended up having to finishing up with yellow, and that got us all the way through our second largest bill, which was our State Farm, and then it's groceries, which is our largest expense, and our mortgage is the most. So I have $1 extra in my mortgage, but I didn't know how to mark that off on a box. So that's why that's there. Yeah, so then basically once one is filled, then let's say if I had, so I was aiming to do $16 per envelope. So once envelope 1 is filled, then envelope 2 would get its $16 plus the $16 that I no longer need to put into number 1. And then once envelope 2 is filled, then envelope 3 would get all 3 of the $16. It's $16 and the $16 from envelope 2 and the $16 from envelope 1, and it would snowball to fill them up. But I ended up, you know, kind of having all of them filled really quickly with the tax return, which I wasn't expecting. So then last week I put my $176 in, and I put $16 into this one, and basically all the rest of it into this one. So that's what we're going to do again this week, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. So let me grab my markers. So I was green last time. So we're going to go with a blue this time. And do you like the movie Tangled? I actually really do. I really like Tangled. So I'm actually going to color it backwards because it's easier for me to say 176 minus 16 than it is for me to add them all together and leave 16 at the end. So one clear, we're going to go 176 is how much, and it's transferred. I opened a high yield savings account and put it in there, which do that if you don't have one. If you're saving money and you're not doing anything else with it, get it in a high yield, because the interest that we are going to earn on it is going to be awesome, as opposed to I just had money sitting in a savings account for a long time that was earning no interest. So it's already transferred, or like going through the process of transferring into the high yield savings account. It's an auto transfer as soon as our paycheck comes in. So I'm going to put 16 into this one. And I've already got one more dollar that I like put into it that's waiting for us. So that's gonna be actually 17. So I'm gonna say subtract 16 from the total. So that means I'm gonna have $160 to put in here. Okay, but honestly, that's really confusing me. So I have one box that would be 10, and then I can do 7, but I still don't know how to do that. So what I'm actually gonna do, since we're like so close to being done with this anyway, is I'm gonna change that. One clear. I'm gonna do 176, and I'm gonna do +1. Wait, no. I'm gonna make it 19. Yeah, because then 19 + 1 would be 20, and I can just fill in 2 boxes. Does that make sense to you? That makes sense to me. I hope it does. So that way I can just color in 2 boxes, and that'll be a lot easier, and I won't have to worry about this little IOU card thing that I didn't know. So typically it's like I put I have because I didn't know how to write it, you know? But I stole that from Saveopoly, which is my favorite savings game. So yeah. Oh, these little trackers are also from Hey K Budgets, and I really like them. Okay, so that is now at 20. So that was a $1, and that's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $1 towards my mortgage. Oh, and my mortgage was $11.51, which that's awesome. So that means that we are down to $1,100 towards the mortgage, towards that first month. Okay, and then that means I have $157 left to put into this one. And this one has each box is worth $8. So let's do 157 divided by 8 equals 19.625, which I believe is 19 boxes and 5/8 of a box. Yay. I think that's right. Somebody check me. Okay, and I have a half a box right here anyway. So we're gonna do a half a box is $4. I'm just gonna check something real quick. So I know it's gonna be 19 boxes. Let's start with that. There's like too much going on right here. Let's color this right here. So 1, and I always over color. So hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then I get a half a box, which is going to be this one. And then I have like $1 more. So you know what? I'll just put this thing back in this one because that worked pretty well for me to not be totally confused. Because let's see this. Clear 19 times 8 equals +4 equals, and then +1 would be 157. And I think that's what I was at. I think. Can I go like up? Yeah, I don't know. We're going with it. Okie dokie. And I'll have $1 remaining. And then I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. Sorry, I wish I could speed this up and make it more fun. But yeah, anyway, so the lady at the bank saw me today, and you know, they're getting kind of, they're used to, like, they recognize me now. Sorry, that's the story I was saying, and I don't think I finished it. But they recognize me now when I come in. And I usually only come in like once every other week, but consistently enough. And then sometimes I come in to like put money back in if a bill comes out, or if I need to buy something online and pay with my card. But yeah, she was all excited. She's like, yeah, I get the girl with the big pretty binder today, because I bring my budget and binder. And I was like, oh, she recognized me, and that's what I'm known for. I was like, wow, I'm like a bank celebrity almost, haha. But yeah, so it was fun. I'm always in there, and I'm like so excited to be there, but I'm also like so nervous that I like messed up the math, and so far I have not yet. And they always like verify with me that they're like, nope, you're good. So yeah, so that's where we're at on this one. And then the other thing that happened was that my husband got his annual bonus. And typically what we used to do when I was working also was that any like extracurricular clubs or stuff that I would get like an extra paycheck for that I did to earn extra money was we considered like my play money, and I could do whatever I want. We didn't put it into our budget. And my husband would earn his bonus once a year. So it would be like that was his play money, and he could put that aside he even puts it in like a separate bank account. He could do whatever he wants with it, and we don't put that into our budget. And then I stopped working, and I was always the one doing the tax return. So after a while, I was like, well, I don't get play money anymore, so that's not fair. So we decided that I would get the tax return and he would get his bonus. Well, this year we decided to put our tax return into, paying off our debt and our emergency fund and hitting our financial goals. And that was what I wanted to do with it. But he also decided, like, to be fair, that he would do that with his bonus also. So his bonus came in, and he decided that we would use that to put into our emergency fund. And so that means our month ahead is actually done. But I still kind of want to color it in. But I didn't want to color it in the same color because it is a different transfer. So we are still waiting for that transfer to go through, but it has already been like set up to go. But yeah, so we have actually finished this month ahead. So we're just going to color them in today. And that went 1,000 times faster because I didn't even think about that he was getting a bonus or that it would come in. It's just what we kind of decided to do as a couple and as a family. And we decided that moving forward, since our tax return seems to be much bigger than the bonus, so he's like, well, you can still keep the tax return and I can keep the bonus. And I was like, well, that doesn't really sound fair. So we decided we kind of both go 50-50 on them, but also we'll always consider putting, our family goals first too. But sometimes you just need a little bit of play money to get you through, So I'm going to use purple, and we're just going to finish both of these off. I don't know if I'm going to do like that whole thing, but we'll see. I don't really want to kill my purple marker. But yeah, so these are both actually finished, and we have hit our month ahead for our emergency savings in less than a month, which is shocking to me. I literally thought that doing our emergency fund savings was going to take years. And yeah, so we're not going to be doing month ahead tracker again for a while. And I'm going to decide what we want to do for the rest. So one other thing that I was saying was that I actually had some money set aside that when my great-grandmother passed away, she had set aside some money for all of her great-grandkids, and we were allowed to use it for college or medical expenses, but nothing else until we were 30. And I'm now 34, so I actually received this money a few years ago, and I had really wanted to like invest it or do something smart with it, but I just didn't really know what to do. So it's just been sitting in a savings account. And then once I started to open the high yield savings account for our emergency fund, I kind of just like out of curiosity, like typed how much interest would I get if I put, I call it my grandma money in there. And my mind was blown. So, I mean, it's not like astronomical life-changing money or anything like that, but it is definitely very, very helpful. So I decided that I was like, you know what, I really wanted to invest this, but I don't know enough about investing. And I've been working really hard to try and learn it, and it just really confuses me. So I think at some point I'm going to hire like a professional to teach me how to do all that stuff and kind of guide me. And hopefully someday we will, because we're getting closer to that actually like building wealth part of the Ramsey Baby Steps. And I'm just like, this has just always been such a far away thing. And even though I have actually been actively trying to learn it for the last year now, I'm just still my mind is boggled by it. And it's so full of other things. So I decided, you know what, I would rather have this money sitting in a high yield savings account in my emergency fund, because that's pretty much what it's for at this point anyway. Like I've been keeping it separate from all of our other money to make sure it didn't accidentally get spent while I decided what to do with it. And I was like, it needs to be in the emergency fund, because that's really the only thing that I would spend it on, or possibly like if we were to buy a new house or something. But if it's in the high yield savings account, it will be at least earning interest. So that would be amazing. But yeah, so I put that in there, and then my husband, unfortunately, his grandmother passed away over the summer, and he decided that he and his grandmother left him a little bit of money. And she specifically, like in her will, said, this is not responsible money. Please blow this and do something fun with it. And he has been delivering in fine measure for the most part. But when he saw that I put my grandma money in there, he decided that he wanted to do the same, and we should actually be finishing off our emergency savings fund probably in the next month or so. So it doesn't make sense to do another big tracker, which I'm kind of bummed about because I was really excited to watch the snowball. But I'm also really excited and to be finishing this huge step and have this huge safety net for our lives. It'll take a lot of stress off of us, I think. And yeah, just to feel like we're moving forward together as a couple financially is just a really big deal. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So that's why I'm not going to be doing another one of these, is because we actually are really close to finishing up our whole 6-month emergency fund so unexpectedly, so rapidly. Like when they say gazelle intense in Dave Ramsey, like I didn't really feel like we were being that gazelle intense. I was just being very strict. But then, you know, just tax returns and a bonus and just realizing that we had another asset that we could use that we had never thought of in that way before. Really just, we went from in debt and struggling to out of debt, prepared an emergency fund, and next thing we're going to start doing is probably start to figure out how to make extra payments on our mortgage with our like debt snowball money that became our emergency snowball money. And yeah, we'll do that once we are absolutely sure, once all the money is in place. And guys, that'll be a life changer. Now it'll still take us years to pay off our mortgage. We bought our house in 2020. We closed in it literally 2 weeks before everything shut down for the pandemic. And luckily, it was a strategic move at the time. It was cheaper than the house we were renting. And by moving to Maryland from the state we were living in, just a lot of expenses went down. Like our car insurances went down, and we happened to pay off some debt at the time. And yeah, it was a very financially strategic move. And at the time, we didn't even know that a pandemic was coming or what that would entail or what it would do to the housing market. So we are so very blessed. And that's why I'm sure some people saw what my mortgage is and was like, that's ridiculously low. Well, it was much lower. When I first bought this house, it was under $1,000 a month for our mortgage payment. And because property taxes have gotten so high, thank you, Governor Moore. Yeah, my mortgage went up $150 in December, and like it had creeped up a little bit since then, but yeah, it's over $200 more than it was when we closed on it 5 years ago. But also, like, thank goodness, because it was going to be the 5-year house. It was a strategic move at the time, and we didn't know how strategic it was, and now it's definitely probably going to be the 10-year house. We would still like to get like property and stuff someday, but it is what it is. So there we go. That's so exciting. We have finished our month ahead. We are very close to finishing our 6 months ahead that I never even got to make trackers for. Totally blowing my mind there. But yeah, so yay. I don't have a bell to ding. I want to ding. But that is going to be our whole video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found this entertaining or inspiring or educational in some way, please let me know. Please hit that like button. And please share me with your friends because, yeah, I'd really like my channel to grow. I'm going to be gearing up to play some savings games either tonight after bedtime if I'm not too tired. I usually am lately. I've just been exhausted. This winter's been a lot. But yeah. So yay, I am a month ahead. Almost done with my emergency fund, and we are financially at least doing really well. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Okay,